I have 4 kids, but I had a vasectomy after the 3rd one.
Yeah.
And people are like, what? Wait a minute. And it's a true story.
Well, back to Under Oath. Now, I always hear people tell jokes.
Yeah.
Very rarely do they take it from their own lives.
You think so?
I think the good comedians do.
Yeah,
the others just look up the news. Mm-hmm. They look something else like that. Mm-hmm. Some of my best jokes, my best feelings, are based on absolute truthful moments that I take and I blow them up.
That's right.
I take something that happens, boom, and then suddenly it goes from a piece to 200 pieces.
That's right.
And when I think about the funniest thing with people, did that really happen?
I love that. I love that. And it can be a double-edged sword because I'll do comedy and my wife will be in the audience. Yeah. And I reveal a lot about my family because I talk about what I know. So I'll talk about stuff that's happened with me and my wife, and people will find out she's in the audience after the show. Did that really happen? Oh my God, that really happened. They love that. I mean, I think if you're a comedian and you're talking about something that you actually know, that actually happened, rather than something you just made up, you're going to say it a little bit. You're going to say it with a little bit more passion. You're going to believe it more. You're going to perform it better because it's based in some truth.
And it's easier to remember too.
Yeah, absolutely, bro.
I hate remembering jokes.
Me too.
I hate the one-offs. Mm-hmm. The one-off jokes. When I say a one-off, there's a difference between doing a bit that lasts 5 minutes and trying to spit out, rapid-fire jokes like Tony Roberts.
Yeah.
Tony Roberts is a comedian. He can do 60 minutes of one-off jokes and just boom, 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 boom. And I'm like, how do you remember those?
And just rapid fire. Bam, 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 bam. Yeah.
Mine, I build. I have an ending.
You're a storyteller like me. I'm a storyteller.
I love when the end of my story kicks your ass.
Yep.
For me, that's the best part. And I've got about 6 that I look at and I go, wow, the ending is the best thing about this story. Mm-hmm. I mean, and there's a sad thing when that happens. You go, at least I can walk out on that line, and that's a Marlon Wayans lesson. Mm-hmm. Every bit you should be able to end on it.
A closing bit. Meaning,
and the only way that happens is if the last part of that bit has a close. Yeah, and a good one.
Yeah, he's right when he said that.
So, I mean, I think of the bad jokes that happen, and you're right. The people in your life have to be able to live with it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know that certain comedian friends of mine change their set if somebody's in the audience. I ain't going to say anything, Ken Miller.
Damn. That was a buster.
Yes. Every wheel over your back, man.
But my inspiration comes from what I know. And when I first started comedy, I did what most people do. I just wrote what I thought was funny. And it wasn't based in any real truth. It's like, hey, this is an observation. When I started talking about my life, that's when I felt my comedy actually took a turn for the better. Like my act took a turn for the better. When I started saying the things that were happening in my life that people can relate to. Like one of my best jokes is definitely a true story. I talk about the fact that I have 4 kids, but I had a vasectomy after the 3rd one. Yeah. And people are like, what? Wait a minute. And it's a true story.
You got some explaining to do.
Yeah. And I talk about me getting a vasectomy and finding out that my wife, on the day I had a vasectomy, was 2 weeks pregnant with my son Isaiah. Yeah. The math problem. Yeah. So, yeah. When it's based in truth and it sounds crazy, but then you end up being, wow, that really could happen. I think people take something from that. Like they will remember those jokes.
I look at comedy everyone says you have to have, the greats have a muse, or they can go somewhere and lose themselves in it. Mm-hmm. Like I heard Dennis Miller can be in the back of a car and write 300 jokes. I can't imagine doing that. What I can imagine is joking with somebody and bantering it. I can't. Everyone has their quiet place. I don't. Most of my comedy comes when I'm running it, bouncing it off somebody else, or I'm running it. And the hard part is for me to remember every joke I made.
Yes. We have a friend. I'm glad you brought that up. We have a friend. I write a lot of jokes when we sit down and we have banter and we're just having a good time hanging out. We'll say something funny. And you're in a group of comedians because someone's like, you should use that. Like somebody will say, hey, man, you got to do that. We have a friend that will go on for 30 minutes cracking us up, saying the most witty, off the cuff, unrehearsed things. Perfect. And we're like, bro, did you remember any of that? Nope.
Oh, it's a heartbreaker.
Miguel Colon will crack us up. You're just shaking your head going, if I don't have that skill. But that just makes us great as comedians. We all have a different skill set that makes us who we are, man.
I think over a period of time you learn. Mm-hmm. You get better. I do notice that some comedians, they're done. They don't want to write anymore. They have no inspiration.
You can see it.
And I think that happens when there's nothing to look forward to. I believe when they're going out doing the same show, I'm doing the same place, I'm doing this, I don't care. It'll be a new audience. I don't have to worry about it. That's why I love the show we do. I love the All for the Money show because we're required to, we have an obligation to each other.
Yes, we do.
To write 10 minutes.
A promise to each of us.
When I wrote my set down the other night for my 50-minute bit, there were 8 sentences that defined my whole show.
Yes.
And it's so weird when you say that. I'm going, okay, first off, butt cramp, porn in the 80s, oral sex in the 80s, penis pick.
Penis pick in the 80s.
Drunk girlfriend. Oh, God. I mean, it was so weird. Ended in doo-doo box and then finish off with Bedazzle. And that's all I needed.
You know I can't watch a Color Guard commercial now.
Oh, how great.
Without Colon Guard, without thinking of you, sir. Color Guard is cheer. Just watching detergent. But yeah, Colon Guard. Yeah.
But I mean, that you can remember a 50-minute set.
Off just keywords.
Off of 8 small sentences.
Yeah.
And even 8 words.
Yeah.
I couldn't do that if I was smacking people every 10 seconds. No. I would just have to have that memorized. I have to have that brain together. And it scares me someday because God forbid the day comes where I'm sitting in the middle of the set.
It'll happen.
And it does come.
I've been there. It'll happen.
Now, you were there, but it's unfair because you were doing brand new 10 minutes.
Oh, my God, yes. When I had a stroke.
Oh, my God, that was so great. That was so great. I was in the back. And in the middle, I think it was like minute 8 of his 10.
Yeah, I was like
brand new 10. He was closing out.
Yeah.
And he suddenly goes, let. Oh, and I'm looking, I'm going, oh, he forgot his set.
Oh,
and I want you to know, other comedians, we don't go, oh, man, that sucks. We're going, oh, this is the best.
They were, yeah. They're like,
and he was about 30 seconds into this brain fart.
Yeah.
And we all have mics.
Yes.
And I said something from the back, and I don't know if I can say this joke on the radio.
Yeah, I think yes, you can say the word. It's an actual
he was going, whoa, I forgot the joke. I said, was it about those testicles hanging around your neck? Because he has these big beads. African beads.
Yeah.
And the place erupted.
It
allowed James 3 seconds to get his crap back together.
And I remembered when he said that.
So, and it was a funny moment, but comedians will do that for each other. We'll try to be there, but we also know what it's like to be sitting in mush when that happens, and sometimes you need it.
So we learned something. Whenever I forget anything, I'm going to need someone to put testicles around my neck. Okay. Delicious.
It's delicious. It's delicious. Oh, God. I hope people listen to my show and they ain't going to get that joke. It's going to make a completely different joke. I mean, I guess when you think about it, we have the benefit that we're writing a set and a half or 2. When I say set, I'm talking 50 minutes to an hour and 40 minutes every year now.
Yeah, we are.
And I know that my set, I had a 45-minute set put together about 2 months ago that I thought that was my set. And I pulled 4 out based on the new stuff.
That's right.
And popped those in because they were better.
Yes.
I wouldn't have had better because I wouldn't have been creating new material.
That's right.
And that's hard for people when they say to me, I want to do this, I want to do that. Right.
There's no way around it. You get it right.
You got to do it. And you got to do crappy shows. When a crappy show, I'm talking about, it's not your show. You're not getting paid. You got to walk in and do 5 minutes, 15, 25, even if you're not getting paid, because then you realize, oh, the set I'm doing could be better, or it ain't ever going to get better, and I got to get rid of it.
Got to scrap this joke.
I think that's about stand-up. And there are books out there, and you can listen to other comedians. We get the benefit of actually talking to comedians who have excelled for 30, 40 years. And I love in the middle of our interviews, I'll ask somebody, I'll go, hey, what about this? And they'll stop. And they'll go, and I think they're thanking us.
They are.
I think they're happy that we're asking them for advice.
They love it.
Because nobody ever does.
No.
I've seen our sets where we go, hey, man, wasn't it cool? Wasn't it cool? They don't want to talk about the old times. They want to talk about things that they're excited about. And I think that's audience too. If I'm talking about something that happened like 30 years ago, let's talk about the OJ trial. I mean, why?
Been there, done that.
It's not relevant. Go into the next one, go into the next one, go into the next one. And if you don't want to go into the next one, you got to ask yourself why you're up there. Is it an occupation or is it a love? I don't know. Could be both.